Okay, so we've talked about the rational number set, and I mentioned that the most important thing about the rational number set are the prime numbers, because the prime numbers allow you to manipulate to work with all the rational numbers. Okay, now what are prime numbers? Prime numbers are natural numbers that divide evenly only by 1 in themselves. Okay, so we got prime numbers. Now 1 is not considered to be a prime number, so we'll avoid writing down as a prime number, but you can think of it as a prime number if you want, not a big deal. So we'll start with number 2, okay? So your prime numbers are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, and so on. So all of these numbers, they can only be divided by 1 in themselves evenly. So if someone asks you a question, I ask my students, how many numbers are there between 1 and 20? And in general, almost everyone says, 20 numbers. But there aren't really 20 numbers, because every other number that is not a prime number is made up of prime numbers. So for example, if we write down, we got 1 over here, right? You go 2, 3, 4. What's number 4? Number 4 is just 2 times 2. So it's not a new number. Number 5 is a prime number. Number 6. What's number 6? It's 2 times 3. Then you got 7. Then you go off to 8. 8 is 2 times 4. 4 is 2 times 2. So again, 8 is not a new number. And then you got 9. 9 is 3 times 3. So if you do this all the way up to the number 20, you're going to find out there aren't 20 numbers. There's only 9 numbers. Okay? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and number 1. Okay, that makes 9 numbers. Now think of the power you're going to have when you're dealing with large data sets if you're able to break everything down to their prime numbers. So for example, between 1 and 20 there's 9 numbers. Well, the higher up you go with the number set, with the natural number set, the number of prime numbers decreases. So if you had 10,000 numbers, maybe you could crunch that down to 500 prime numbers. So all of a sudden you don't have a 10,000 number set, you got only 500 you have to deal with. Now if you take that even higher, let's say you're dealing with 1,000,000 numbers, well, there aren't really 1,000,000 numbers from 1 to 1,000,000. There's maybe a few thousand numbers. So that gives you a certain amount of power to be able to work with number sets and break things down. Now this becomes super important, breaking down numbers to their tree, to their prime numbers, when you're dealing with fractions. Because what you do is, you start canceling off the prime numbers from the top and the bottom. Okay? But we'll talk about that when we're dealing with fractions.